Oh, everything's on point from here on out. Hey everyone, it's Garrison here, and welcome back to the channel. And today, after checking out the very first episode of Queendom Puzzle, I'm here to provide my coverage and thoughts in regards to the very first episode of Queendom Puzzle, everyone. Now, I really wanted to do this, especially after doing my weekly or episode reviews in regards to Girls Planet 999, but here we are yet again, another survival show with Mnet and all. And I just want to say this right away for those who are new to Mnet survival shows: please don't play into Mnet's evil editing and schemes that they do time and time again. That's right, that sort of moment with High Key's Rena and Weekly's Jihan is just imaginary beef at the end of the day. And I want to go off and start by saying, what were my initial thoughts before going into Queendom Puzzle? Immediately right away, the same people who've been through Mnet survival shows, quite hesitant, knowing how much these contestants already been through off of other survival shows. We're talking about the likes of Produce 48 and etc. And especially, the most importantly, I would say, is just looking forward to the crazy collaborations that we're gonna get amongst the contestants. You know what I'm saying? As a multi-stan and a fan of pretty much majority of the groups and contestants on this show, I am honestly in a fever dream at this point, seeing them all at one place other than music shows, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta say right away into the first episode with the MC Taeyeon of course, it was great seeing her yet again, but also showcasing the moments in episode 1 where she was taking care of the contestants by providing food and water. Because in case you guys didn't know, like, these recordings of survival shows, whether it's like Show Me the Money, Mnet survival shows for K-pop and all, are lengthy durations, you know, and they get lack of sleep so they can get tired. It's just all in one setting, all in one go at the end of the day. Now, how the episode played off is where they showed an unnecessary 1 hour lengthy preview on YouTube and then added that on, of course, to episode 1, right? And I say unnecessary because it was quite the awkward, lengthy 1 hour introductions and all. Like, sure, we got some good comments amongst the contestants talking about one another, but it was very lengthy and stretched out in my opinion. And keep in mind, these tiers that were set in terms of the seating for these contestants were based on the total of #1 rankings in music shows as of April 24th. That's right. And then after they got into their tiers, we got into this ridiculous sorting method called the up-down battle. Okay, I feel like there could have been a better way of like coming through with initial individual performances for the contestants. But I gotta say right away, this up-down battle sort of Reddit posting kind of format is Mnet pretty much just stirring the pot right from the get-go and trying to create unnecessary drama or quote-unquote buzz, I've got to say. Now, what was great about this round, I should say, this up-down battle, is that we get to see these incredible performances, yet it was really foul by Mnet at the end of the day to really give a chance to the contestants to see, oh, you want to see who downvoted you? And also, yeah, at the end of the day, they're pretty much just stirring the pot, everyone. But we gotta understand that it's beyond this up-down battle, right? There's more opportunities on this show to showcase their talents, their skill sets, and also new sides to these contestants that we've never seen before, of course. And let me transition this into, of course, the first performance. We're gonna go performance by performance in order. The first performance that was shown was Dohwa, right? AKA Chanmi of AOA, right? And this is her as a soloist, keep in mind. And before getting into her performance, I thought, wow, she has a lot of experience under her belt over the years. AOA has gone through a lot at the end of the day. And for her performance, I love her combination and medley between Elvis, Bingle Bangle, and Come See Me, I've got to say, right? She handled her performance professionally and did amazing despite the skirt problem, of course, at the end of the day. And I gotta say that her dance break was carried out so elegantly. You know, despite that skirt issue, I think she just came through with a really strong performance, and the mashup of medley I really enjoyed. It was seamless, and I don't think it was too contrasting when it came down to the song choices, of course. Now, moving on to Joa from Weekly, of course. She came through with, of course, Weekly's most well-known and iconic song, After School. Without a doubt, really good song choice, and everyone should know After School by Weekly at this point. And then she carried it out from After School into Rum Pum 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 by FX, a group that I feel like should have been striving still to this day for their iconic electro dance songs and all. And I gotta say, it was an immaculate song choice with those two songs, and those two songs truly suited Joa's voice so well. She was cheerful. The performance was refreshing as a whole throughout the entire performance, I've got to say. And I feel like people are getting it twisted, where it's like they're saying how Joa did not express herself well or did not provide good enough expressions. Like, come on, it's Weekly's After School. And second of all, Weekly is truly known as a group that's very expressive and can truly throw on a performance at the end of the day. She even showcased some whacking techniques within, of course, FX's Rum Pum Pum Pum. And then, I gotta say, good for her for mustering up the courage to be on the show in the first place. Can we just appreciate that for a moment? Okay, Weekly's Maknae coming onto the show is so unexpected. You'd think Monday would come onto the show, but, you know, good on her to really come with the other members on the show and to compete and all, and to showcase what she's truly all about. Now, segueing into the next performance is we got Jiwoo from Triple S, everyone. Now, keep in mind, I gotta say, I'm not too familiar with Triple S as a whole, still familiarizing with them and their music and all, and they've been surprising me with all of their releases so far. As for Jiwoo, she really surprised me back on Charismatic, right? And coming through with that verse 2 rap moment and all was really unexpected. I did agree, though, with the contestants about, like, covering her face, like, for Rising with that hat. It was too long of a duration for her to, like, cover her face. I wish she took her hat off early, but I'm so glad at the end of the day that she was able to showcase her expressions throughout her performance. Am I right? For, of course, Triple S's song Rising, very cool, sleek with it in terms of the attitude. I think the outfit choice was incredible for that particular performance, and I feel like she's got a lot to offer and a lot to show when it comes to being on Queendom Puzzle, even though, you know, Triple S debuted quite recently. Like, they're the newest group amongst the others on this show and all. Now, moving on to the performances that shocked me even more. Okay, we're talking about Jiwon from Cherry Bullet coming through with Gotta Go by Chang'e, getting 24 upvotes and 3 downvotes. Look, she already proved how talented she is off of Girls Planet 999 for those who've seen that show and are familiar of Cherry Bullet, right? I think it was the perfect song choice to come through with Gotta Go, but at the same time, I felt like she actually went out of the box to use the stage fully and to utilize props with the backup dancers, snapping of the high heel and all. She's a complete all-rounder who has it all at the end of the day. Her presence, the way she expresses herself, I can't reiterate that enough. So she's truly a weapon, a multifaceted weapon to mess with throughout this show, I've got to say. Now, following up, of course, there was some kind of moment between like, oh, I believe like Rocket Punch and Cherry Bullet do be rivals. Now, I feel like this was kind of unnecessary to bring up and all, and that's how they transitioned it into Suyeon from Rocket Punch and her performance of Advice by Taemin, coming through with 12 upvotes and 15 downvotes. I can't be the only one feeling like she should have gotten more upvotes than downvotes. Like, I already know personally what she's capable of due to her vocal ability, and in matter of fact, majority of the contestants on this show, I already know what they're capable of and all, but considering Produce 48, the high notes that she hits within Rocket Punch's discography, she's incredible, I gotta say. But that aside, you know, when it comes to this performance of Advice by Taemin, I think she was stable throughout her performance while showing her true individual colors and charms, right? I just feel like Mnet was just setting up Jiwon to comment on her performance of not showcasing her charms. I feel like you got to be familiar with her to understand her charms that she showcased in her performance of Advice. And I feel like people at the end of the day are getting it twisted where it's saying like, oh, the song was too high for her. No, she in fact came through, I should say, and took the key to another key, I should say, singing it in a higher key for Advice by Taemin. Like, Taemin doesn't originally like sing it in this high key. Like, sure, she could have sang it in the original key, but the matter of fact is she didn't make any mistakes and she was able to do that. She's not screaming at everyone. That doesn't make sense at the end of the day. She just has a high-pitched voice. Whether you like her high-pitched voice or not, that's another whole thing personally and all. So yeah, sure, she came through with a high key, but go out of your way and check out the full cam. I highly recommend you guys do so. It's unedited, and I feel like, in my humblest opinion, the editing on her performance was out of proportion and all. Now, moving on to, of course, Nana from UA. She came through with Move by Taemin with 19 upvotes and 8 downvotes. I think this was truly what Nana is capable of. She is an ace. She is pretty much born to perform. Right song to showcase her dancing skills. I loved, personally, the dance break where she went all out on us. And it really goes to show us how multifaceted she is, as we saw how amazing she was on Charismatic prior to the airing of this show and all. So good on her. I'm sure she's going to showcase even more on the show. Now, moving on to pretty much like the final boss of like survival shows, Lee Chaeyeon, everyone. Okay, it was a really huge surprise for me to see her end up on this show, but I'm so glad at the end of the day that she decided to move on this show and know that, yes, I am better than this show. and knowing, of course, charting with Knock at the end of the day when this show came through and all. I'm happy also that she was able to show her aura because it's one of a kind, and she really shows it within this performance of Talk Talk Talk, originally by legendary solo artist Lee Hyori, everyone. And I feel like she utilized the stage to the fullest and also went with the cameras extremely well. And I loved how in this first episode, it's her pretty much making her show as her quote-unquote battleground play zone. Like, no, Mnet did not edit her in a way where she actually downvoted each and every contestant. She wanted to do that because she knows how these shows work, and she has a competitive fighting spirit, and there's nothing wrong with that at the end of the day, everyone. Now, moving on to a contestant that really surprised me, Faye. Sorry if I butchered the pronunciation. I get the pronunciation for her name here and there. And not knowing much about her until finding out, wow, she had a viral cover of Hype Boy, sort of an R&B rendition to the song and all. So she came through with her cover of Hype Boy, of course, and combined it with her song titled Gone Girl. I really love that R&B rendition to Hype Boy. Can't reiterate that enough. But I feel like she showcased multiple sides to her beyond her vocal work. We're talking about rap, vocals, and dance at the same time. Although I felt like the rap section was not for my kind of taste and can be improved on personally, she's more stronger in the vocal department for sure, and dance, I've got to say. And she's got a lot of potential to grow on this show and to like surprise us. In matter of fact is, I feel like she's gonna surprise us as the show goes on. The only one thing I've got to say is that is gonna be a barrier for her is the language barrier, of course, in terms of Korean and all. Now we move on to Mnet stirring the pot pretty much. We got Rina from High Key, right, coming through with their iconic song Rose Blossom that charted. Given that 21 B-side vibes, as I mentioned in my review of Rose Blossom, and also not only that, transitioning into Pop by Nayeon. At the end of the day, she got 8 upvotes and 19 downvotes. Keep in mind, everyone, like my friend was talking to me who was following the clips and all, it's crazy to see how how Mnet edited in a way where we saw a bunch of upvotes from the contestants, and this ended up being the case. So keep in mind, amidst the imaginary beef, we have Soojin from Weekly wanting to perform with Rina since they are the same age. And I gotta say, Rina, she literally snapped during, of course, her performance with her team for Snap, and I feel like she's got a lot more to show on the show. So despite the voice crack, I think the song choices worked out as Pop truly suits her. Her charms were completely shown, and I just think there's just a lot more that can be shown and opportunities that she can present to her fullest potential and skill sets, I've got to say. And of course, they laid it up into Jihan from Weekly, right? She came through with Pop, solely only Pop by Nayeon. Got 17 upvotes, 10 downvotes. It really goes to show you how Jihan is very multifaceted, and it's clear that she is born to perform, as she said in the past before, that if she had a choice when she was reborn and all, she would still aim to be an idol. Perfect song choice, I've got to say, yet effective since it matches her fully. The expressions were shown to the fullest, and she was confident throughout her performance, I've got to say. So good on Jihan. I'm glad that she's getting even more recognition with this show and, of course, Weekly as a whole. Now we move on to Uyeon from UA. She actually performed I Envy You by Taeyeon got 4 upvotes, 23 downvotes, unfortunately. Let's give her the benefit of doubt that she is performing I Envy You literally in front of Taeyeon and not even knowing that she was gonna be the MC of the show, right? Bunch of nerves coming into play, and I feel like she's more than capable to do justice by songs from Legends, I've got to say. She just needs to overcome her nerves in the future, and I feel like she will be able to do that as she'll be paired up into teams, assumingly, and other collabs that were gonna happen on Queendom Puzzle, right? I think one positive moment that I got from her performance is that she can carry out body isolations really, really well, as mentioned by the contestants at the end of the day. A lot of potential that can be shown on the show for her. And here we go into the final 2 performances. We got Yerim first. Yerim from Wooju Sonya, coming through with As You Wish, and of course, by Kai of EXO, getting 24 upvotes and 3 downvotes, tying with Jiwon from Cherry Bullet, right? I felt like she was able to showcase her own individual color while utilizing the stage to the fullest. I think there was a lot of emphasis put on her because she was saying, this time, I'm not with my group, you know, I'm not performing with my group. It's only me at the end of the day. So she truly showed that. I'm sure she's gonna do it even more later on into the show. And I loved her elegancy throughout the performance into by Kai, I've got to say. She's going to go really far into the show without a doubt. Mark my words, everyone. So I'm glad that she didn't make any mistakes and it's as expected, but she also exceeded our expectations, sorry, I should say. And then last but not least, wow, we have Bora from Cherry Bullet coming through with My C by IU. For those who watched Girls Planet 999 with me, I remember that day when we saw Chaehyun from Kepler singing with Bora in an outdoor setting of My C by IU. And this is pretty much the comeback arc that we've been wanting ever since Girls Planet 999, am I right, guys? And just the early moments into the performance, it truly felt like a full-blown musical with the dance movements and the backup dancers. She was pretty much portraying and delivering a story of like how IU would do in her vocals and how IU sings the song. So she truly did justice to IU, I've got to say. So far, the only performance that gave me straight chills because it was that good, for those who saw my full-blown episode reaction on my Patreon and all. So I'm gonna advocate for her all the way. I think we can agree that it's gonna be another crime if she doesn't make it to the final lineup at the end of the day. And then we got glimpses of following up to Kay, of course, who's known for her musicals, coming from Lovelies. Can't wait for the second episode to see how her performance goes, as well as the other contestants on the show, before we get to see what happened in regards to the Snap and Charismatic teams. I'm sure a mission came into play, or in terms of the airing ahead of time, which team gets to come through with their performance first on the Mnet channel and all. So I gotta say, at the end of the day, overall, my top 5 performances so far would have to be, without a doubt, Bora from Cherry Bullet and her performance of My C by IU. Most definitely Yerim and Jiwon tied. It would go that way as well. And then I would have to say Lee Chaeyeon and Sooyeon and Uaz Nana being tied together. I still feel like there needs to be more appreciation in regards to Rocket Punch's Sooyeon and her performance of Advice by Taemin. But let me know your thoughts, everyone, how you're feeling about Queendom Puzzle so far. I know we have to look past the evil editing, but just keep this in mind. Let's look forward to, most importantly, the crazy collaborations, the interactions, the kinships, the friendships that are going to spawn out after this show happens and during this show, most importantly, and which performances were your favorite performances, and were you able to relate with any of my sentiments and statements that I said upon my first episode 1 review in regards to Queendom Puzzle. I'll be doing these episode reviews by episode basis, or every 2 episodes, I should say, depending on how busy I am in terms of life and YouTube and comebacks in terms of this channel. And all, some of you may know I usually do reactions and reviews, but feel free to check out the Patreon. That's where I'll be exclusively checking out the full-blown episodes. Like, we're talking about 1 hour, 2 hours long. Like, first episode is 2 hours long, but the next episodes assumingly will be hour and a half. And also feel free to check it out. It's gonna be a beautiful go-around, simply to say, just like Girls Planet 999, where I'll be watching each and every single episode. And also, take care as always. Be sure to like and subscribe as it goes a long way and helps out the channel so much. It just warms my heart connecting with y'all in regards to Queendom Puzzle and the performances that have already ensued and happened on the first episode. But take care as always. This has been Garrison, and peace.